Nothing going right today. Alright, there we go. That goes there. Skip add. Okay. Huh? I'm live. What happened? Huh? Banned? Oh boy. What are you gonna do? Okay, so we are going to take a look at Night of Man. I'm just going to go through a couple of how to go over the rules and stuff like that, and do a couple turns here and see how it turns out. I've read this pretty good. This is a great game from Mark Walker. You can get it at his site, Flying Pigs Games. And I was just wanted to make sure I got it because Janice and I might try to play it tonight, but tomorrow is like dungeon day. So we're really going to see how things turn out. It's very, very pretty simple, and it's a unique type of thing. Hello, everyone. Hello, yay, a board game. Of course, I'm at work and will probably have to drop off. Well, yeah, you're supposed to be working. So let me just make a few adjustments here. I'm trying to make it so I don't shake the table because I have the camera up on the table because we were doing Janice's thing a little earlier. Now, over here are the human infantry, and over here are what they call the mechas, or the killers as they're concerned. These are the bad guys, but they're actually like evil mechs. And this is the resistance trying to fight back. The object of this is that the infantry, even though they outnumber the mechs always go forward. And if they are able to kill these 3 mechs, or get a total of 4 mechs killed. Now, what counts as a mech killed is if you capture any one of these buildings. And that's a building, that's a building, that's a building, and of course these are buildings. So if... Did you have a bad day?
No, not at all. It was a joke.
Oh, it was a joke. Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay, sorry, I was just talking to Justin for a second. So basically, just capturing these areas really works out really, really well for the infantry. You have 6 turns to do it. Now, the way this all works, and it's pretty interesting, and I'm sorry I got a little distracted there. I kind of turned on at the wrong second there. Okay, there we go. Just having major malfunction. It's just been a bad day. Major malfunction after major malfunction. Okay, so anyways, this works kind of almost in the same. This came before 65, and the way this works, it's card driven. So I'm going to play both sides. Even though there's a solo element, I want to show you how the 2-player version works so you guys get a good idea of this. This, with all the maps and all the stuff that comes with it, is really, really cool. Tanks and all kinds of mechs and everything like that. Really, really caught my eye. And Mark was very nice to send it to me. Now, each side gets 4 cards. And I'm not going to look at these 4 cards over here yet. And I'm going to draw 4 cards over here. 1, 2, 3. And, of course, 4. As you can see, I shuffled them because they're all mixed up. And, of course, I'm going to hit the map. The map has to straighten out a little bit. It's a good quality map, though. Now, I'm going to turn these over. And if any of them said end turn, then I would put that card out and then draw another card. If you get 3 end turns, what happens is that's the end of the turn. Okay, so you keep on going. Now, what I do is I play 1 card each, and then I'll play one card and move one unit. So these are going to be for the mechs, and we're not going to do those yet. And I just want to make sure I read all this up. Okay, so we dealt each player cards until they have 4 in the hand. If a player receives an end turn card, place it in the end turn pile, adjacent to the discard pile, which would be over here somewhere. Take another card to replace the end turn card. If you pull 3, then that is the end of the turn. This scenario has 6 turns. Okay, so you're using this deck for everything.
No.
Stupid dogs, it just took them out too. Game turn, how it works. Each player bids for initiative. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it randomly, and I'm going to show you how it is done. Okay, so I'm going to pull this card here, and we use this number here. So that's 0, which is good because they may want to keep that card. I'm going to pull this card, which is 7. So the mechs get to go first. Okay, the difference is this card goes back to their hand. This card gets discarded. Now this might have been a pretty good card, and as you can see, adds one adds 1 to their fire. So that would have been a great card. Their HE factor. Let me just check something real quick, because I want to give you the right wording for HE. It's armor factor. Yeah, we got that. HE. I'm just looking in the manual. Make sure. Oh, high explosive factor. Okay, and high explosive factor is this number that's right here. Now we'll explain that as we go. So now they actually lose this card, so they've got to do their first turn with just 3 cards. So that's how we're going to do it. Car wash done. Got to go. Bye. Okay, Mods, take it easy. He's enjoying washing his car. So he's going to look through this, and I'm going to look through it. And I'm going to make a couple of determinations, and I will pick something, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to pick one unit, of course, and I'm going to play a card for that unit. Now, the nice thing about this, it comes with everything that you need. It comes with a great little, as you can see, a chart. Very easy to follow. I'll explain things on how clear, woods, and all that other fun stuff works, and cover factors and so forth and so on. So woods, cover factor, walker, blah blah blah, off-road, leg, tug. Okay, nothing unusual here. And ranges, that's what I was looking for. This whole board, you can fire as long as you can see on this board, but there are range factors. Okay, 1 to 4, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. The firer would get +1 to their HE. No, 1 to 2 they would get. If they were firing on an armor vehicle, which we have no armor vehicles here, and mechs are not considered armored, and the reason that we could tell that, there's an asterisk in the bottom left-hand corner. What that stands for is that declares it as a soft target, not an armor target. Let's take a look, and I'll show you guys what an armor target is. That's an armor target. And these are big counters and big squares. As you can see, this has an armor value of 4 on the bottom hand side. But we'll explain a little bit of that in the next scenario, more than likely. So, HE modifiers, legged unit firing, meaning that if you have legs, and then there's vehicles, you would get +1 on 1 to 2 range. 3 to 5 range, there would be no modifier. 6 to 7, you would be -1. 8 is the max range. -1 max range for legged units, but vehicles can fire 9 to 14, and they would have a -1. And then -1 for every square beyond that current target. So what we're going to do is, our movement value is in the bottom here. So they move half their movement and fire, huh? So if I was able to move one of these mechs, of course I couldn't fire around here, so that wouldn't help me. Light wounds, let's get them in action. Now these cards, let's talk a little bit about the cards real quick, okay? I want to make sure that I cover everything. The green areas are actions that you can use, but the red areas are reactions. You can have reactions to anything that a person has. So you could play that. So if somebody hit you, you could play this reaction card. Ignore one hit or asterisk hit applied to infantry only. So you would play that in reaction if you got hit. Oh, sorry about moving the thing. The green things are the actions that you can do. Well, I want to save this rally action because if I get hit, and we'll explain things when you get hit, and we'll go move up to 2 infantry units that start within 2 squares of each other. Okay, so we're going to play this, and it's let's get them. Move up to 2 infantry units that start within 2 squares of each other. Well, these 2 guys are within 2 squares of each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to move them 2 square, movement of 4. So let's get them up into the battle. 1, 2, 3, and I'll go 4. Now, to denote that I use that unit, I'm going to place a marker that says moved on top of it. Then, with this guy, we are going to move, and you can move diagonally. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to move right here, 4. And then we're going to put a moved token on him. Now, he used 2 cards, so he would be able to, on his next turn, when it comes back to him, he will be able to draw up to 4 cards. Now, we're all in the same impulse, the same turn. So we're going to continue on going back and forth with each other. So let's continue to do that. I just want to check one thing to make sure I'm doing everything right, because I don't want to show you anything that is wrong. Play until there is the number of end of turn, and then we do our reserve phase. That's what I wanted to make sure. The reserve phase. Now, the other way that a turn ends is when everybody has gone and then somebody passes. So I can actually pass, which would be kind of stink, but then they would keep on being able to go until they finally would have to pass, or all their units moved, or they had the 3 end turn things. So let's see if they have any end turn things. Nope, they do not. So they've got a lot of action cards in here. So let's see how this all pans out for these guys. So what's going to happen is, well, they don't need to fire at anything. Well, they could fire at this particular unit here, but they are far away, and they only have 1 HEF factor. So that's not going to help them very much. So what we're going to do is we're going to play, oh, they have a lot of move. Okay, so they're going to play move, all right, which is this card right here, and they're going to use this factor right here, and they're going to move 3. 1, 2, 3, because they want to capture this. So that would be their turn. We would put the moved token on here to designate that they moved, and now it would be the mech's turn. So they would draw up to 2 cards. Rally algebra. That's no, we don't want to do that. Place this card to fire an eligible unit. Well, they've already moved, but the question I have is, if you moved, can you also now fire with something? Which is kind of interesting. Opportunity fire is a special type of attack that occurs during your opponent's. Well, no, that's opportunity. And moving. Let's just check this out, make sure that we got it. To move fast. Units may pass through one another. They cannot violate stacking. You can only stack 3 units on top of each other. Biopeds or locomotives. Okay. Alright. To move. That's it. Okay. At the end of an impulse, you may discard up to 2 cards. Discarding that. Okay. So once you move, that's pretty much it for that. Can you move and fire? Any you given a move action may always move at least 1 square unless movement is prioritized. Firing. So let's just make sure that we have this all down because I don't want to show you the wrong thing, but I think we're way on top of it. Range combats. Okay. Fire, reload, fire. In some cases, fire first. Soft targets. Not designate a firing unit. Play in a fire. Calculate. Execute attack by drawing a number of this. Play a fire, move and fire, or fire. Okay, that's all. Okay, great. So once they move, they have moved. So I believe I can fire with these guys. So because this guy is 2 hexes away, I could probably fire with him. Actually, I think if he moved, you can only do 1 action per turn. I'm pretty positive of that. And I'm just going to read this to you guys and make sure that we have it all down and I'm not choking on this. Because like I said, in the title, we're learning how to play this. I want to make sure I got it. Okay, in each player's turn, the players whose turn may perform any or all of the following. Okay, play a single action card, allowing a unit to move, shoot, rally, or other actions as defined on the card. Okay, so that pretty much says that that's it. You cannot play 2 aimed fire cards. You cannot play more than 1 specific supporting action. Okay, so there we go. So basically that's all I could do with this guy. So basically with this guy, I'm going to have to move this guy up, and we're going to move him 4. So I'm going to play this move card. As you can see, this is a pretty good one. Maybe I have another one here that just says move. No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to play this card, and I'm going to use this bottom action here, and it's going to say move. So we're going to move him up 4, and we're going to get him right in the action there. Well, now it's their turn, and we're going to turn that over, and it says aimed shot. Oh, that's pretty good. Fast move, add 2 to your movement, so you can really fly across this board. They're looking to get and try to capture these things here. Now, the mech who had just moved, these guys are all done, which is bad. Alright, so we're going to play this move card. Fast move. I wonder how fast move would work for our guy here. He's got 3, so he can move 5. Oh, excuse me. But he would get pounded the next turn because it would be an assault. Well, we're just going to play a move card for him. So I'm going to use this action here and move. So he's going to move 3. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And we're going to put a move thing on him. Now, because everything that this guy has done, he does get to draw up his card. So he's at 4 cards. So he has a reactionary thing that he could play if he has any reactionary cards. But he's moved all 3 of his units, so he has to pass here. I'm sorry, I've ignored the comments pretty much. Dennis, Nigel, Jocelyn, Game Line, Rick. Let's see what you guys. For your information, there is a PNP edition for $20 on their site as well. Oh, print and play, yeah, which is really really nice. But well, this board, all the other boards aren't warped. It's just this one, and this is the only board that I've gotten warped. I've got 65. There's no warp boards in it, so it was just one board, and I'm not going to complain when the guy sent it to me. Main game is on their site. 80. Did not see it on Miniature Market. No, they just sell it from their site, and I really like it. Hi everyone. Yeah, I am not a big war game fan, so I don't know if I would be willing to invest 80 bucks, but I would consider doing the 20. Well, there you go. This is really good. The 80 comes with a lot of stuff, and you can always write the guy and see if he gives you a break and tell him that I sent you. Say, hey, I saw this with Rob Orn, and he told me to talk to you. Maybe they'll give you a few bucks off. Who knows? Maybe free shipping. That'd be nice. So, where was I? Okay, so they pass. Okay, so now they're done, and these guys are going to keep on going until they're completely done and they pass. So he draws another card. And let's get him. Move up to 2 infantry units that start within 2 squares of each other. So they're going to use that little gimmick that I used a little bit earlier. So they're going to move. They have a 50 cal here, which is pretty nasty. So they're going to want to move that up. So he's going to move that 1, 2. Actually, yeah. And then this guy, he's going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. Actually, we should leave the... Well, you want to get the 50 cal there. And we're going to put moved on these 2 guys and just... There you go. So again, he's going to draw another card. And, alright, so we got another move action here. So we're going to play moved again. And this guy's going to move up 3. 1, 2, 3. And he's going to get the moved thing here. Alright. Then finally we're going to draw one more card. And he has a move fast. So he's going to play fast move, which is going to add 2 to his movement. So this guy's going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to get right in this guy's grill because they really want to start taking some shots here. Actually, I want to start taking some shots. So, here's what happens here. Now, normally, what would happen is it's end turn phase. So what happens is all these cards get reshuffled back into here. Any units that didn't move, you can move now. You can move all your units that didn't move. Now, because this is a beginning scenario and we're only using the one board, it would have to be a solo variant, as I do not, unfortunately, have a consistent grain. And let me tell you something. I was reading the rules for the solo variant, and it's really good. Very well thought out and very put together. I really like what they did with it. So I was really excited about it. Alright, so I'm shuffling these back up. They moved everybody that would move. So now, alright, player with the turn initiative moves all that. Cleanup. After reserve phase is over, player remove all markers except damage and shaken markers. Discard all but 1 card from their hand and begin again per step 1B. Okay. So then we would do the initiative phase once again. So you have to discard 1 card from your hand. And we reshuffle this deck because this deck controls everything, and I'll show you how this all work. Hey Dutch, how you doing? Is there lag? No, I don't have lag here. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and I'm going to discard this card. Okay, and then draw up to my cards that I want to have. Okay, and I'm going to put that there, and then this guy here is looking. Uh, hmm. And I'm going to discard that card, draw one card. So now what happens is we decide who has initiative again. So we're going to do this randomly this time, just so for the sake of it. And I can straighten this board out. This board is not. This is the only one that came warped, believe it or not. But again, you know, the guy sent the game to me. He was very nice. And what are you going to do? Oh, I got a warped board. I could fix that. Trust me. So we're going to take all these moved things off. And it's going to be on. So here we go. So we're going to shuffle over here. And I shuffled over here. And I'm going to turn this over, and this number, uh-oh, not good, miss. And then I'm going to turn over here, 9. So guess what? Guess who gets to go first? These guys do. So they lose this card, which is actually a pretty good card. They get this card back. So now it is the infantry's turn. So now they've got to make some decisions here, and they've got to be smart in what they do. Two from innovation victory. Remove, move, or fire. Oh, see, that's a nice card. Okay, so what's going to happen here is they're going to play a fire card, and the way they're going to do this is this particular unit is going to fire onto that particular unit. Now, if the word here on the bottom or anywhere said power, we'd be able to use their little abilities that they have on the side here, but we cannot. And on the bottom here, there's a power. Oh, let me just double check that and make sure I'm 100% right. But we're going to fire on these guys, and I'm going to show you how this all works out. All I got to do is just look at the counter. Ability. Okay, power. Oh, so your abilities you can use at any time. So, on the mechs, they have a couple abilities. Let's just talk about their abilities real quick. And I'll let you know what they got. So, they've got difficult target, which means subtract 1 from the draw, or HEF. Okay, that's pretty nasty. And then they also have assault. Units may enter assault combat, must have this ability or assault plus to initiate assault, but may defend with 1 HEF regardless. Okay, so they have this ability that's called their difficult target to hit. On the other side here, they have assault. Add 1 to HE FP when assaulting. So that's interesting. But they're just going to fire right now because it makes more sense, because they don't have an assault ability. So here's how this all works. So I'm going to show you how this works, and we're going to get this card out of the way here. Do you think that this has a potential for miniatures? Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean, you could play it with something you could play with Dusk. If you have Dusk miniatures, you can play this game with Dusk. I'll be honest with you. There is a unit called Cheetah. Justin should only be allowed to play with those units. Yeah, probably right. Okay, so let me continue on. So this unit is going to be firing on into this unit. Now here's how this works. The range is 2. Okay, so what happens is they're a legged unit, so they're going to get +1 to their high explosive factor. They have a high explosive factor of 1, so they're going to get +1, which is 2. There's no modifiers because it's a clear shot and there's nothing in the way as far as terrain. So it is clear there's no cover modifiers. Now, because they have hard target to hit, it's -1. So their total value to hit is 1. So what happens here is from the same deck that you draw from, you turn over a card. Okay, so we're going to turn over a card. And in this box here, whoops, hold on, let me show you. In this box here, if it said hit, it would be a hit. But because it only has a 2, and these 2 numbers here are only for armored targets, it means it's a complete miss. So they missed on their unit, on their firing. Okay, so that means they only had 2 cards left for the next turn. So now, instead of a moved, we put a fired token on him. Well, guess what? I've got some bad news, because that mech did not like being fired upon. So what's going to happen here is doesn't have any power, and I'm just trying to find the right one that'll fit our guy here. Well, yeah, guess what? Now remember how I told you that if you had a power here, and these guys have powers where they have a high explosive unit. So if they had a powered card, that particular power, which I'll tell you guys real quick what the infantry has, just to make it a little more interesting, if this is interesting at all. I'm picking up on this pretty good. So, this is, I liked 65, and I'm hoping Janice and I get a chance to play it tonight. But I wanted to show off this game. Okay, explosive rounds. So when they fire, if they get the power card, they're going to get +2 to their firing. So they could be firing 3, possibly 4, which means we would turn over 4 cards. But I got a feeling that, unfortunately, that's going to happen for what's going to happen to our friends here. So we're going to play the fire card. And this mech here is going to fire on 1, 2. We're going to fire on the unit that's already, that can still fire. We have nothing in the way. So that means he's going to get +1. He has a differential of 2. So now it would be 3. There's nothing in the clearance. And let's just make sure that we're right here, because I don't like to be wrong. No, clear for Walker. 1, 2. No, nope, 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 nope. That is as simple as it gets. Cover factor, none. So there we go. So now we're going to be drawing 3 cards on this particular unit. So now we're going to turn over these cards one at a time. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, I haven't been reading. It sort of sounds like Dusk with more streamlined gameplay. James Winter, hi everybody. Hi Michael, good to have you here. Yeah, it kind of does. And Joe Nardo, I just got that huge box. Joe just sent us over like 400 miniatures of Dusk. So to add to my collection, I think Janice and I are going to give that a good go. I'm going to paint, I have a good amount painted up and airbrushed too, just in case you needed to know, Vernon. And we are going to take a look at that, because he sent us Russians, Americans, the Germans, and all the new stuff that goes with it. And I want to thank him so much. That was so kind of him. But we're gonna do it right for him. So now we're firing into here. So of course he's going to get a fired marker, and we're going to turn over and see what happens to this guy. Well, nothing happened there because there's no hit factor. So the first shot was a miss. Second shot was a hit. So what happens on a hit? Okay, the first hit you get a shaken token. And what does that mean? And they're very well defined and spelled out. So when you look at it, it's really awesome. You cannot fire, and you can only move half your movement. Now you can use a card. There's cards in here that you can use up a turn, and it would say ops complete. Actually, ops complete. What would happen is you can remove that shaken token, but you would have to put an ops complete. Now let's find out what the final card does. Oh, it's a hit, but it's only a close range hit. Little asterisk is only if you are in assault. So it actually turns out to be a miss, unfortunately. Let's just confirm that, because I think on a ranged attack that's a complete miss. But you know, we're learning it, so why not just make 100% sure. Okay, so hits. When damage drawn reveals an asterisk hit in the lower right box, the target is only hit if it is involved in an assault combat. So what would happen is, okay, because that was a miss, but if that was just a regular hit, we would flip this over. Now, if it got hit one more time, it would be removed from the game, unfortunately. All right, so there we go. So he's shaken. He's got half a movement, but he can't fire. So that kind of puts them in a bad position. So let's go back to what we were doing here. All right, so that guy's done. So now it is the infantry's turn, and they just realized, hey, why did we go rushing in? Play with fire, reload fire, move and fire, and add to. Oh God, that's nasty. All right, but that's not going to help us. So we're going to draw 2 cards here. See if we got that hit card. That would have been pretty nasty. Support. You cannot play more than one. Okay, so here's what we're going to do here. This particular unit is going to fire into this unit right here. So we're going to play a fire card, and it has a power. Okay? Remember what we said about power. We can use the power on the bottom there. So what we have here is they have 1, they're within 2, but you add 2, so that's 4. -1 because of the thing. But he's going to play 1 more card because he can play 1 support card to help that. And he's going to play Bullet Storm. And that's where you're going to add 1 HEF, infantry only, to the mecha. To his hit. So now it's back up to 4. So now we're drawing 4 cards on this mech. Let's see what happens. This isn't going to be good, possibly. Is the solo variant somewhere other than in the rulebook? I cannot find it in the online. Yeah, they have a solo variant that you can purchase. It comes with a lot of cool stuff. It comes with another deck of cards that does the movement and all the reactions and everything. It's really pretty cool. Okay, so, all right. So, the first card we turned is a hit. So, he's going to get a shaken token. Second card is another hit. So we're going to flip this mech over. Oh boy. The tragedy of it all. So that's 2 cards, 2 hits. This isn't looking good. Nothing there. A complete miss. And the third hit that he was looking for. So this guy really did a nice job and took out this entire mech. So this mech is gone. So they got 1 mech that they needed towards their victory points. And we'll put it right here. So it's a great job by these guys. Now they've got some area that they can move in, and they can really do some damage here. So this guy has fired, so we want to make sure that we put a fired token on him. So he is done. Now these guys are really in a bad spot here. They've got to be able to start taking some of these guys out, or there's going to be some problems here. So these two cards, these get discarded over here. Boy, he's wishing he killed that one guy. You're right, it does sound like Dusk. But I will tell you this much. This is a lot of fun. Whoops. It comes with tons and tons of stuff. And I mean tons of... And these things are just so big. And then you can add armaments to them and tons of scenarios. The boards are really, really nice. You can play a really, really huge game. I'm just playing the very first example. You have these giant panthers. Look at these guys. And all the tanks. And then you have heroes that can help out the infantry. Just a lot of really neat things. Alright, so we're going to draw a card and see what happens. Oh, it's an enter card. So that's the first one. So that might help the mechs. They're hoping they can draw a couple of them. Nope, they just get one more of these things. So, what are we going to do? This isn't good. Single unit marked fired. May fire again at original target. Well, we're going to play this because we really need to defend some of these areas here. So what's going to happen here is we're going to play reload and fire. A single unit marked fire may fire again at the original target and add +1 to accuracy and HEF. Place ops complete marker. Okay, so what that would mean is that he's going to be completely done. So he couldn't go again with another card. But we're going to get the fire again at this guy. And we're going to be +1 HE factor. So it's 3, 4. No, it's 2, 3. And then add 1. It's 4. And he's already shaken. So let's see what happens. Maybe they get to take somebody out here. So it's a hit. So what happens? We flip over this marker. You got 3 more cards. He really needs to take this guy out. And finally, we got the final hit. So the other 2 cards don't matter. They're oblivious, but they were able to get rid of one of the extra units. And we are going to put an ops complete. So nothing can be done with this guy. Again, there's no other card that we can really use to bring this guy back. So that was actually a very good turn for our friends, the killers, as they call them. Now, this guy gets to draw up to 2 cards. So the first one is Fire and Move, which is a pretty good card. And we have Aim Shot and Fast Move. Boy, what do you do? What do you do? Remove a move or well, that's a good card. We don't want to use that just yet because that might just help us. But we're gonna play. See, I could have played that too, but that wouldn't have helped. Play this card to move 1 unit. Okay, so we're gonna play a fast move card. You're okay. Where are you going, babe?
Going to work.
Work? Oh, you gotta work tonight?
Yeah, 5%.
Oh, alright. Be careful.
Does that remind you of Baby Spice?
Huh?
Does that remind you of Baby Spice?
Well, why don't you show yourself in the camera and see if everybody thinks you're Baby Spice?
I don't know, it's kind of too
Yeah, it's kind of... No, you can't. She has 2 big giant pigtails, so she thinks she's trying to be like Baby Spice. Very funny. So we're going to play fast move here, and we're going to add 2 to our movement. And there's a reason we're going to play this card. So this guy has a movement of 2. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we captured this so far, but it's the 50 caliber, and it's in close range, and it gets 4 hits. We might be able to take this guy out, but he moved. If we can get another proper card to take something, or a second win card, which we just might have in our hands, you don't know. So he moved, so now that's 2 mechs down. So things are getting a little interesting here. So that was their turn. So now it's back over to the mech's turn. Let me read some comments here. Gotta go drive to Fort Myers. Enjoy the game, Rob. Text me when you get a chance. Yeah, I gotta talk to you, by the way. Site does not, okay, GameLine says, the site does not appear to offer a P&P Solitaire. The only regular for $40. Oh well, looks like a cool game, but probably not one I would be owning. I will live vicariously through you, Rob. I think it does come. Maybe it comes with the solitary rules. You know what? I'll write Mark and I'll ask him. Or you can write him yourself and say, "Listen, I really like this game. Is there any chance of me getting the solitaire rules?" And just tell him you saw it here on the Rob Warren channel. Thoughts on the pieces being tiles instead of miniatures? I like it. I really like it. It's quick to throw together. It's really nice. The boards are nice. I probably should have showed you on a good board instead of the first board that was warped. But the other boards are in great shape. These things do happen, and believe me, I'm not making an excuse for it. I really like this game. This is fun. Okay, so I drew a card. We only have one end turned, and I'm sorry for the interruptions, but that's okay. All right. We've got to try to figure something out here. Boy, that would have helped. Well, I think I have no choice. Add 1 to... no, that's not going to help. That's not going to help. Well, I have no choice. I'm going to have to play this card, which is move and fire. May move half and fire. MF, HEF. A move factor equals miss. Maybe I don't want to use that. Well, no, probably don't want to do that. Play with artillery card. No, I don't have an artillery card. Fire first in assault combat. Cannot be shaken. Assault combat. Nope, that's not going to do me any good. Yeah, I'm going to have to use this. So it's going to be -1 to my hit factor, but that's okay. Actually, I can move half, which my movement is 4, and go into a close assault. So I'll move 1, 2. Now, in this, we have a couple. I wish they had. The only thing I do wish that they had is the thing with all the powers. Not unless it's on this sheet here, and I'm just missing it. No. Okay, AP. Okay. So this will be kind of interesting because we haven't done this yet. So let's read up on close assault. Let's see. Okay, I'm just making sure we didn't miss anything here. And I hope you guys are at least understanding how this game works, because it's going to help you if we do 65 tonight. And I hope you are enjoying this, because I know I am. And this is a lot of fun. And then after I do this, I'll show you how the solitaire works in another video. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Must move, fast move, get him, or any other card driven. Other driven to enemy square. Okay. Only units with assault or assault plus abilities can initiate assault. So they have an assault ability. So their assault ability gives them unit may enter assault combat. Must have this ability or assault plus to initiate assault, but may defend with 1 HEF regardless. Okay, that makes sense. Alright. Now, because those guys are in assault, okay, so now how does this work? To resolve assault, the total number of HEF of the attacking unit. These factors are not modified by range or terrain in the Defender Scare. They can be modified by the HE's power and support cards. The attacker pulls the number of cards equal to the sum of the attacker's HE minus any defender's abilities. As discussed in the previous sentence, he consults an HE result 10. Every hit or consults the HE. Hold on. If there are 2 units in scare. Assault combat. Okay. Alright. Does not apply the result. The defender now fires on the attacker using the same procedures. Now the results are applied. Okay. So, here's the way it goes. He gets +1. That was probably the worst move I could have made. So I'm going to take that back. Because this is the 50 cal. So he would actually have... Oh no, he wouldn't have. But he still would have 4 against me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up here and move up here and then fire upon him. Kind of sandwiched in between the 2 buildings. Or I can just move back 1, but that wouldn't matter either. So now I would get +1 and I would draw 3. What would happen is I would take my factor, which is there, which is 2, my HE factor, and just use it. I'd have to have that assault ability to do it. But I would fire 2 cards into him, and then whatever results I had, I would keep aside, and then it would be his turn as a defender, and he would get 4 against me. Oh, he doesn't have the assault ability. I keep on thinking that's infantry. Let's see what he does have. See, that was maybe a great move for me. See, we're learning as we go. It's all the little things that we got to learn. And that's what makes doing these pretty nice. Okay, so take a look. No move and fire. Unit cannot move and fire. That's 1 ability. Okay. And then the other one below it, suppression. Add 2 to the HEF for this impulse. Any hits, and no matter how many hits are drawn, shake the target. Soft target shakes the target. Wow, that's nasty. Alright, so he doesn't get to attack back. He only gets to draw 1 card no matter what. Okay? So that's the way assault works. So we're going to keep that move and we're going to play this out. So he doesn't get any bonuses, so he's going to draw 2 cards. And unfortunately, he draws 1 that's a miss and then another miss. But what happens here is they get to attack back. And nothing. So absolutely nothing happened there. So that was a total disaster for the mechs. Now, let's see about what happens if you have to fire into that. Thought on the pieces being... Oh, okay, I'm just making sure that we didn't miss anything. Line of sight, we did that. Retreat. Here we go. A unit is required to retreat after assault combat. Must vacate... Okay, must vacate its current square and retreat 1 square. If the unit was the attacker, it must return to the square from which it entered the... Okay, so that's what happens. After that, after the assault, we are still considered where we can assault each other next to each other, but we move back after because nothing happened there. All right. So things aren't going good for the mechs. And the dog agrees. So now we're going to grab a tile here. I mean here. Oh, it's an end of turn, which is good for them. And then we draw again. Oh, okay, there we go. So we're going to play. All right, so we're going to play move and fire. So we're going to play a move and fire card. And this guy is going to move up here. And he's going to fire into this guy here. So he's within 1. It would be considered an assault. Does he want to do that? No. No. I'm going to move this guy 1. And now he has a clear shot to him. So now he's far enough away. It's 2, but -1 because it's a hard target. And we're going to see if we can shake this guy up. And no. But it's an end of turn card. So even if you draw an end of turn card, it becomes an end of turn card. You do whatever it says, but the end of turn card plays out. So that ends the turn. So that guy would have been done. Now it's a move phase. Okay, so his ops would be done. So anybody that hasn't moved would get to go. So ops complete. We're just going to put there. Oh, actually, we will put fired. Sorry. And oops, we forgot to put fired on this guy. Or ops complete would actually be the proper one. So the only person that didn't move was this guy here. So he is going to move 1, and you can move through your units, 2 and 3. And what he's looking to do is grab one of these areas. We have nobody to move. That's the end of the turn. So 2 turns are done. And we have to take all these cards. We're going to discard a card randomly. And then we're going to shuffle all these cards back together. Alright, so 2 turns are done. So you can see how this works out. I don't know if you guys want to see it all the way through. You can let me know if you're bored to death. But I'm kind of fascinated to see if these mechs can actually come back from this. Now we remove all these tokens. And I'll be honest with you, if I am the mechs, I really want initiative here. And if I'm the other guys, I want initiative too. But I guess we'll have to see who gets it, because we're going to do it randomly. Alright. So we're going to draw up to our 4 cards. 1, 2, 1, 2. Put those cards there. And these cards are for the humans. So they're down to 2. And this is going to be interesting how this goes. So we're going to turn over this card. And they bid an 8. And that's a 4. So they would get initiative. This card would go back into their hand. This card would get this card. And they would have to fight with just the 3 cards that they have. Oh, wait a minute. Did I drop a card? Yes, I did. All right. Well, first of all, we have an end card, so they would have to draw another one. Okay. So already an end turn card, which is good for the mechs, because if they're able to get out of this and quickly draw some end turn cards, let's just check and see if they have any end turn cards. No, they do not. It would be pretty bad. Play this card on eligible unit. Alright, so we're going to play just fire and we're going to use with the power. So this guy right here is going to declare a fire. He would get +1, which would be 2. Because his power is the high HE, it adds, I gotta remember if it was 2 or 3. I think it's 2. Pretty positive it's 2. And powers. High explosive round, add 2 to the HE. So that would bring it up to 4, but -1 because of them. So they actually get 3 shots on this guy. So this could be absolutely devastating for our friends here, the bad guys. So let's draw the 3 cards, see what happens. It is a hit with an asterisk, so it's a complete miss. This was a hit, so it's shaken, so it can only move half, and is shaken. He needs another hit here, and he does get another hit. Wow. So now, not only is it shaken, it's 1 hit away from being destroyed, which is devastating to these guys. They can only use a factor of 1 here, so they're shaken. They can't fire, and they can only move half, and they want to get the heck out of here. They want to get out of Dodge. So we're going to put their cards over there. So here we go. Let's see what happens here. They've got to somehow do something here. Wow. So their move is halved down to 2, but we're going to play fast move. Yep, I think we have no choice. We're going to play fast move, and we're going to get this guy out of this range of this 50 cal. So that would give him 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 behind this building, and that is going to help them. So he's already moved, and he's shaken, and he's a mess, and this isn't looking very good. So now it goes over to the infantry side, who are doing pretty well. They're going to draw 2 cards. All right, and so that would be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. No, that wouldn't help. No, we don't want to do that. So we're going to play. Jeez, what are we going to play? We're going to play this move card. Yeah, we're just going to play a simple move card, and we're going to move this infantry unit up into here. So now they're at 3. So they have 3. All they need to do is capture 1 more building, and that's it for the mechs. They're going to lose this, or they're going to have to destroy mechs. So these mechs have to do something, because they're in a lot of trouble right here. So we're going to draw a card. Alright. So this mech here is going to fire upon here. Probably the only thing that I have here, unless I use a move and fire. 1. Well, that'll put me in the range of the 50 cal. Well, we're going to try to take out an infantry unit. What the heck? And hope we get something that will help us. And I think we have a card that will help us. Okay, so we're going to play this fire card. Okay. And we are going to fire into this unit. So it's 2 plus 1 is 3. So we're going to draw 3 cards against this unit. And that's 1 hit, so that's good. So they are shaken. And that's, no, that didn't do it. And that's 2 hits. So they get flipped over. So they can't move. I mean, they can only move 3. They're shaken. They're messed up. One more hit will do them in. So now it goes back over to the humans. And let's see how this turns out. Dear Rob, dropping in to say hi and let you know I'm still alive. Guess who that is? That's Tina the board gamer. Well, Tina, I haven't heard from you in months, and I hope you're all well and everything is going well for you. The Queen has been very, very, very sick, and she's just gotten home from the hospital. It's been quite the adventure here lately, and that's for sure. I hope you're doing all right. Oh, so now getting back to what we were doing, we were now drawing for the infantry, but they drew an end turn card. Oh boy, can you imagine if they draw another one here? No, they don't. And it's been quite adventurous here. Mimi graduated from EMT school, so she's doing really, really well. She did that the other day, and we're very proud of her. So we're going to move, and these guys are just one move away from winning this game. Oh, by the way, he fired, so there we go. So we're going to move this particular unit 1, 2, 3. And we're going to just use a move card. So that'll take care of that. So all they have to do is get in this square and they win. And it looks like these guys are going to pass, but they get to draw a card anyways. So let's see what happens. And they're going to play an action which is remove a move or fire token marker. So they're going to play that, and they're going to move it off this guy, of course, because he's still in great shape. That guy moved. That guy's shaken. He can only move half, so he can't really do anything. So let's see how this plays out. They still have a slight chance here. So we're going to draw another card. Oh, well, that's not going to help. Boy, he has nothing that... Well, the 50 cal going through there. Let's see how that'll turn out. Write me hopefully soon, and I'd really like to hear from you. +1 on defense. CF. Cover fire only against non-artillery crossing wall. Movement penalty for crossing the wall. Cover. +1. So they would get +1 to their cover. So the 50 cal can shoot here. So what we're going to play is the 50 cal is going to shoot, obviously. And we're going to play a fire card, which we're going to play. Glad you're still alive, for crying out loud. How is India? And how's everything going? I'd like to know more, that's for sure. So, I've got a ton of things to tell you. So, let's see what'll happen here. So, he's going to fire, but he's 1, 2, 3 away. And that's a 50 caliber. 50 cal, 3 away, gets no +1, so it's 4. Then, because of that modifier, it is 3. Hard to hit makes it 2, so they're going to draw 2 cards. So let's see what happens if they hit the mech. Of course they hit. Wow, he's shaking, so now he can't fire. Wow. And nothing for the second card. So now he can't... Okay, so he fired. Wow. That's pretty devastating. There's a way out of this. I just don't know which way you get out of this mess. So, we're going to put these cards here. Hopefully they can get they're going to draw a card to draw up to their hand size, and he can move, but let's see if he can. Well, he wants to get rid of that thing. Let's see if he can rally. Rally eligible units. Do not place an ops marker on it. Oh, rally. So we're going to play Bloodlust. And what Bloodlust does is take the shaken thing off. But they do not put the ops complete marker on there. So he can still go. So that's big. That gives them a chance. So now it's their turn. So they're going to draw a card here. And they have move and fire, which now becomes very interesting for this infantry unit. But they're going to play, instead, they're not going to use that right now. They're going to play second wind, and they're going to remove, oh no. Yeah, they're going to remove a move or fire marker. So they're going to remove this marker here from this guy here. Because all they have to do is get there and they win the game. So we're going to put that down. So the guy's taking a huge chance here. We're going to draw another card here. Whoops. It's not an end turn like they hoped, but he's going to move and fire now. So he's going to play a move and fire card. And he can move half his movement, but all he wants to do is move one. Because he doesn't want to really get too close to that 50 cal. Now he's within range, he's got 3. So he really needs to take this unit out, or else this game's going to be over. So he's going to get 3, and let's see how it turns out. It's a hit on the first one, so we've got a shaken marker. It's another hit on the second one, so he gets to flip it over. This is pretty much the game right here, because he can only move half. He can't fire. Does he kill him? Does he kill him? Does this game end right here? No, it's a complete miss. So now the game can end right here. They need to draw a card, but if they get an end turn card, this could be critical. No, they get exactly what they need. And they can move 2. They're going to play Let's Get 'em, move 2 infantry units that start within 2 squares of each other. So he just moves up. He moves there. That's 1, 2, 3 buildings that are occupied. Building squares that are occupied, that counts as 3 with 1 dead. That's 4. And it looks like the infantry won. And that is how you play Knight of Man. So, listen, I think this is a great game. It's not overcomplicated. When you add the armor, it adds even more depth to the game. I really, really, really suggest that you guys go check this out. This is a lot of fun. I had a real lot of blast. A real blast just playing this solo, but playing both sides, because you can kind of, it has a solo feel to it. I mean, you can think one way and do another thing and so forth and so on, but you still have to get the cards to initiate the units. So, I really, really, really enjoyed this. Humans do not win immediately when satisfying their objective. They need to kill all the mechas or let the time run out. When sitting enough, the mechas can retake the house. Okay. Let me just make sure of that in the first thing. I'm sure you're probably right, Max, but for time's sake, instead of just sitting here for another hour or so. Let's see. Victory. The militia win if they destroy 4 mecha squads. Each building square captured by the militia counts as a mech squad destroyed. Well, there you go. The way I read that, it looks like the militia won. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 dead, and that's it. I read it one way, you read it the other way. Either way, I made it look. You know, this was just a demo, learning how to play the game. You're probably right though, Max. It's worded differently in the book though, but it's a good starting off thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was a nice, quick hour and 17 minute. Mark has addressed this question on the BGG forums. Okay, that's great. Again, we're just going to call it the way we called it, and I'm sure Mark, who designed the game, is 100% right. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think that they had much of a chance. I wonder what the next card would have been. How's that? Glancing shot. Well, I mean, there were a lot of different things that could have happened, and the Mechas could have won. But I wanted to make this a nice short thing, so I'm calling it. If they captured it, guess what? We played it like you as at first as well. Yeah, but again, this was a demo, and it's me versus me, and I'm gonna play it that way just because it kind of works that way for the demo purpose of what we did. But again, this is a really, really, really good system. I really suggest that you go to Flying Pigs games and really check this out. I think it's well worth the money. You get lots of great stuff, and Mark has made some really great games, and I can't wait to show you 65. And I am looking forward to Old School Tactical, the Western Front, as well as I have the Eastern Front. So everything this guy seems to touch, in my mind, has turned to gold. And I just want to thank him for all the support he has given the channel and given us. And I will love to do some more of these. And I think Janice would really... I'm sorry, I have my elbows on the table. I'm telling you to keep playing. This scenario is heavily favoring the humans. This was a great demo. Oh, I'm not telling... No, Max. I didn't take that wrong. I hope you don't take me as being snarky. I wasn't being snarky to you. No, I was just saying, you know something, it's heavily favored to the humans, and the humans probably would have won, but, you know, I still think that the mechs had a chance here. If there was a way that I could get a card to get rid of some of the shaking stuff and get that off that guy and take out that 50 cal, you know, there's a good chance that I could have wiped those guys out. They got lucky taking that one guy out, that's for sure. But I love this system. I think it's unique, and I'm a big dice guy. I like to chuck dice, but I really, really enjoy this card system. I can't wait to try it out on 65. I like the solo variant, which I'm looking forward to playing. I think, like I said, this guy, I now have my eye on everything that he does. I really, really like his systems. I like the way he does things, and I see all these other little games in these things that, you know, I have to write him and tell him, hey pal, I'm really interested in this stuff. Can I get some of this too? Where is it? Because he has like these games here. Oh, where the heck is it now? Doggone it. There were a whole bunch of little scenario games that he has that were just really, really interesting for me to take a look at. Now we have to deal with, of course, it's probably in here somewhere, along with the other 92 things that I have in here. I really filled up that box, that's for sure. But I'm really looking forward to play more of this, adding the armor in and the heavier plate stuff, as well as building the map out. And I think this is something that Janice would pick up really quickly, because it's not very hard. It's just a really nice system. Maybe we'll play the same thing scenario again, only this time we'll let Janice be the humans. Who knows? We'll see. Especially with her just learning. But I really like how the you know, you can just change the whole game with these end turn game cards. I mean, it's just pretty amazing. Great, well thought out system. Really enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed this as well. Tina, someday, please do me a favor, write me. Until next time, I'm Rob Orn, and we'll see you this weekend as I painted up a whole bunch of dungeon stuff. And Janice has been quite anxious to play some dungeon games. We'll see how that all turns out. We may play some games tonight, and of course, don't forget her Witcher broadcast. If you guys are not signed up for OMG Network, get over there and subscribe and watch Janice play all the great video games that are out today. And don't forget about that guy, Retro Rob. Until next time, I'm Rob Orn. Everybody have a great evening.